Law and Justice segment tonight. More developments in the Florida high school shooting. The FBI released a damning statement today, admitting they let Nikolas Cruz slip through the cracks when they had a credible warning 1 month ago that Cruz might commit a school shooting. And they did nothing to follow protocol to investigate that information at all. According to the FBI statement, on January 5th of 2018, a person close to Nikolas Cruz contacted the FBI's public access line tip line to report concerns about him. The caller provided information about Cruz's gun ownership, his desire to kill people, his erratic behavior, and his disturbing social media posts, as well as the potential of him conducting a school shooting. Yet the FBI did nothing. That means in the space of 3.5 short months, the FBI was warned twice about Cruz and his potential to commit a school shooting. Once by the person close to Cruz, and once after Cruz posted on YouTube about wanting to be a school shooter. And the FBI did nothing. This is absolutely shocking. It's sickening. Joining me now, White House correspondent for the Daily Caller, Saagar Enjeti. Saagar, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
Saagar, I think I speak for a lot of the American people, perhaps on a majority of the American people, and this is not a partisan issue, in expressing absolute shock. This is horrifying that the FBI not only neglected to run down the YouTube comment, but that someone close to Nikolas Cruz, probably a family member or someone perhaps that he was staying with, a coworker perhaps, warned him about specific things, warned the FBI about specific red flags, and even said that he might conduct a school shooting. How does this slip through the cracks?
Yeah, and the biggest problem there is that the FBI even admits that that tip was not forwarded to the Miami field office. And it's just a pattern of disregard by law enforcement here. And it's not just the FBI that's in trouble. The Broward County Sheriff's Department has revealed that they received 29 different calls over the last 3 years of associates of Mr. Cruz warning them that this kid had a propensity of violence. Compare that with this. Deputies have also said that they visited Mr. Cruz's residence on 39 different occasions since 2010. His social media presence, he always referenced the fact that he wanted to be a school shooter. It showed him posing with knives. It showed him posing with guns. It showed him, exhibiting sickening behavior. He killed a frog and then took a photo of it. He literally, it's just an absolute sick freak. And, everybody knew, everybody said something, and everybody saw something, and everybody said something. And, that's why there are a lot of lawmakers who are excoriating the FBI. Senator Rubio has said that there needs to be congressional investigations. Florida Governor Rick Scott actually said that FBI Director Wray, should resign from his post because of how egregious of a failure that this is.
Right, and I don't entirely disagree with him. I mean, this is not an oversight that can be forgiven. 17 children lost their lives. Their lives are not going to be brought back and resurrected because the FBI apologizes and pledges to the American people that they're committed to improving their processes. Their processes failed. They failed us. They failed these children. They failed these children's families. Somebody has to be held accountable. And moreover, not just in this specific instance, but the whole idea, law enforcement always tells us, if you see something, say something. Don't be afraid to call us. Don't be afraid to look stupid. Don't be afraid to talk to us. If you see behavior that makes your intuition rumble, that sends a little red flag up, tell us, because it might save someone's life. Why should we even do that now if nothing comes of it? Would it even do any good to report these people?
Yeah, obviously people need to be doing this, but the faith in the American security state is slowly eroding. I was looking at today, and I actually tweeted this. It was that the Boston bomber was known to the FBI. The Chelsea bomber was known to the FBI. The Orlando shooter was known to the FBI. Dylan Roof was known to the FBI. The Parkland shooter was known to the FBI. These people had active FBI files, had contact with FBI agents, had multiple tips. There were multiple ways in which law enforcement could have interdicted these people. And, those attacks I just named, that's a death toll in the hundreds. This is, American citizens have been slaughtered. Law enforcement has failed them in each of these specific instances. And, as you said, it is truly sad because in this day and age in which American citizens need to remain vigilant in which people need to remain vigilant that we are in a situation in which people do not trust that the information they're relaying is going to be acted upon, and this is only going to degrade that.
Right, and I would take it one step further. If you look at some of the recent mass shootings in our country, if you look at Sutherland Springs, if you look at the murderer there, Devin Kelley, he was known to the Air Force. He was actually convicted in the Air Force of being a domestic abuser. He was convicted of a violent offense that was equal to a felony. He slipped through the cracks because of negligence and inefficiency in a government-run system. The same thing with many of these other people. In San Bernardino, the terrorist, the female terrorist, she had posted on her social media accounts pledging allegiance to al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS. Yet, because of inefficient and ineffective government-run vetting, government-run agencies, she was allowed to come into the United States. She killed 14 people. This comes at the time that liberals, in response to the Parkland shooting, are telling us, the American people, that we should ban AR-15s. We should trust the government and the government only, law enforcement only, the military only, to be allowed to use, to be trusted to use these weapons. Why should we trust the government to keep us safe when they have proven to us over and over again and cost, like you said, a death toll in the hundreds? Why should we trust us to keep them safe when they haven't before?
You just laid out a very good point here, which is so many people are saying, let's do something. Let's implement new program, a registry, a ban, et cetera, et cetera. Those things only work if they are implemented properly. We have some of the strongest laws on the books right now. And in each case I named, if law enforcement had did its job, if the background check system had been properly implemented, none of these attacks would have happened, and it would not infringe upon the rights of American citizens under the Second Amendment. And this is something that so many people just refuse to grapple with, which is the fact that this is bureaucratic and government incompetence which has led to every single one of these shootings. If our laws were enforced, if our current government laws were enforced, not a single one of these attacks would have happened.
Right. It's absolutely shocking. I'm interested in the line of thought from Governor Rick Scott holding people in the FBI accountable to this, because I don't understand how an oversight like this could happen, how credible, detailed information, even about the type of crime, the location, the date, that kind of credible information and warning could not result in a referral to the field office nearby, was not understood, was not acknowledged as a threat against people's lives. I don't understand how that can happen. And we, the American people, that is what we should not tolerate. Saagar, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it. All right, guys, we have to take a quick break, but right after that, our next tipping point is with Frank Gaffney. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein announces that Special Counsel Robert Mueller has indicted 13 Russian nationals and 3 Russian entities for interfering in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. All of those details next. Stick with us.